Hey everybody, it's Jess and
Hey,
Erik. Yeah, how's it going? Welcome to Anime Book Club that we do every Thursday, and I'm going to put a little asterisk beside that right now because I'm going to tell you about we're about to take 2 weeks off after this Thursday. Sorry, I'm
yeah,
out of town. I can't help it. I hate to let you down, but we're coming back in the beginning of July for our final show for this season. So we'll close out like basically all the shows we're watching this season when we come back in 2 weeks. So,
yeah.
well,
We'll
actually,
also be
3
bringing
weeks.
back Wonder
First
Egg,
week of July.
so it's gonna be a pretty
Yes,
packed episode.
it is. If you recall, last season we were following Wonder Egg Priority, and it did not end because they had delays in production because like there were 4 shows that the studio was doing at the same time. So they were doing a 1-hour special on June 30th that we will go over the next time we join you back here, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
Hi, everybody in the chat, including cats in boxes, not dogs in boxes, cats in boxes. We'll be going through several shows that are currently airing right now. So if you're not watching a show and you don't want spoilers and you're not current as of today for any of these shows, feel free to mute us and hang out until the next stuff comes on. We'll have slides. Don't worry. You'll see which ones. And be aware that we will have spoilers for the newest episodes because that's kind of what we're here for.
that's what we do.
It's what we do. And please don't hold your breath if you think that we really like battle athletes. So, sorry to all battle athletes.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get there. All right, so let's get started. Dynazenon. Dynazenon is definitely wrapping up as rapidly as possible. We're setting up for like a final boss battle after this episode, so that's fun.
Yeah.
You out your main bad guys, the kaiju eugenicists, have decided, yep, I guess it's over. I guess we lost. All except for one of them, who turns into a kaiju at the end of the episode and tries to wreck Face. He's like, nah, I'm not done yet. I'm gonna turn into a kaiju. It is what it is.
Yeah, and out of all of them, it's a little strange that he's the one that did it, kind of. I mean, I guess he's always been like the outsider of them, like, but it's like he was the good guy, you know. He was like the one that was like hanging out with the main characters and like, hey, let's go out.
I mean,
like,
you say that.
Like to the.
He's deep undercover, man. Deep undercover.
Yeah, I liked him. I don't know what to think about him now, but.
Yeah. No.
So
it is what it is. But now he's our big bad for what is probably going to be the last episode. 12 or 13 is probably going to be our last episode. Everybody's coming to terms with things this whole episode, and you find out that Gauma was a kaiju user and is decaying rapidly because he's not actually using kaiju. And yeah, that was interesting.
Apparently he was like a mummy in like the museum, and he bust out right before the show started, and so now like he's just going back to be a mummy. So we've been pretty critical of Dynazenon for the last like weeks, 12 weeks or 10 weeks, right? And so I feel like this episode kind of is what I kind of wanted from the show, because like this episode you get to see like all the like the past things and all the like the flashbacks actually having some type of value. And so it kind of really felt like this was it. This was everything's wrapped up. This is like the last half of the last episode. But we knew something had to go wrong, because like we knew that there's this one and one more. And so, like, this episode kind of like gave some type of importance to all their struggles in the baggage they were carrying. And I felt like the last episode kind of just like, no, we're just writing it off real fast, run through it, speed run all this stuff, and we're done. Go back to fighting. Yep. And so this episode spent almost the entire thing just like going through like all the characters, fine, like, okay, it's time for me to get my life together. I'm gonna move on. Like, let's put this all behind us. So I kind of wish the rest of the series kind of had a little bit more focus on this and not just using it to kill time. But
no, I agree. It had a lot of conclusions and stuff like that. But it definitely feels like we've got one more battle and then everything is over. And I just feel like the show was so poorly paced from start, because you started and it just didn't go anywhere for a long time, and it's a problem. Oh, are you laughing at it? It reminds me of something. Yeah. This is the same universe as SSSS Gridman.
I'm pretty sure it must be a different show, because it's pretty obvious that two shows are connected. Like even now it says on the title like Gridman Universe. So there might be more shows in the same universe.
Yeah.
So one thing that happened in this week's episode is that what's his name? Yomugi. It's hard for me to say. Yomugi, the main character.
Yomugi.
He confesses to Minami that he likes her finally, really.
Yeah.
And he says, "Go out with me." And she was about to respond, but then what's his face? Suzumu interrupted him, and I was like, "Bro, that is such a major violation of the bro code. Like that is such a violation. Like I would have stabbed him on the spot right there." So he cuts him off. He cuts him off and then does the spiel and then like turns into a kaiju. But so I don't really care about Yomugi's and Minami's like relationship. Like he really has been kind of like a dog that's been following her around the whole show. Like
yep. That's because he doesn't have a personality of his own. I mean, he hasn't the entire series.
Really doesn't have one either. So it's like he's always just like, "Hey, you doing something? Okay, I'll tag along." And she's like, "Okay, it's fine. You can come with me to my sister's grave. That's not awkward. You can come to me with all these things that you have no real part of. But yeah, we're fine." So I don't really care about their relationship, but the relationship I really do care about is Koyumi's and Mujina's. They have less screen time. They have less screen time, but for some reason their relationship is a lot more interesting. Like I feel like they have a connection with each other. They have similarities, and they both kind of like are going different directions in terms of how to deal with their like lack of like motivation to like I guess tackle life. And so I think they're a lot more interesting to focus on. The main character is like, all right,
yeah,
maybe
I agree. Yes. I agree.
I feel she's probably going to say no.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it's going to be one of those non-endings where she's like, I need to find myself, and then maybe. And I feel like a lot of anime in that way. So, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I feel like we only have maybe one more episode left. It feels like there's like one penultimate like battle episode, and then we're done. So, which would be 12, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
On to a much better show. I'm a Spider, So What? Which was delightful this week. Absolutely delightful.
It was.
Like, I mean, it's never not delightful, but.
So I've been reading the all the light novels. I'm now technically past the anime. I'm on book number 10 of Spider, and the anime covers the first 5 books. But the reason why I say I'm only technically past the anime is because after book 5, it goes off on a long tangent. So in terms of content, I've only seen up to like where the anime is right now. But the anime improves on the light novel so much. Aoyuki does such a great job at voicing Kumiko, and she really like sells the show so much. The weather report at the beginning of the episode, like the weather report was funny in the light novels. It was pretty funny. But her voice acting and the animation of Kumiko just being so silly during it, and the blood like spraying in the wind was absolutely hilarious. And I'm like, my God.
So good. I always love Kumiko scenes more than I love human scenes, and this was no exception. And the human stuff was so poorly animated again. I don't know what is going on with the animation studio, but something is clearly going on. Okay,
they are definitely strapped for time or budget or something. They don't have to fix this in the Blu-ray, because this was like the human side animation was like almost high school project level bad. Like it was skipping frames. Like it literally was skipping frames. And then nothing but the two characters ever in focus. Like whenever there was two characters in focus on a scene, absolutely nothing else is moving in that scene. And it was just like the most like low budget camera pan outs I've ever seen in my entire life. It was like, you gotta fix this for the Blu-ray, please.
Yeah. It was rough. It was rough. In this episode, we've got most of this episode was a battle with Ariel, the Demon Lord, who is now slowly being taken over by the Body Brain and displaying the personality of the Body Brain in stupid ways, and I love it. And so,
Yeah.
but she uses abyss magic in the end to cancel out the immortality power, which is dangerous. It's quite dangerous. But
So it
that was the
seems that
big thing
Kumako's
there.
body has been destroyed. I wonder what could possibly happen next. Who knows? Um,
And then the older hero guy, Julius, like the brother, is like a little kid, you know, like with the hero ability, and he's just like on the battlefield, like frozen, watching this battle. Like, no, Demon Lord could destroy you right now, little boy. All right,
yeah,
like
yeah. But he
destroy
has the
you.
hero title, and so the special effects of
Yeah,
the hero
that does,
title is that you gain the ability to defeat the Demon Lord, but it's not like you absolutely are immune to everything the Demon Lord has to throw at you. Like he just has
yeah,
the 1% chance of beating her, which is not going to happen.
yep.
But
No, I mean that's some bad gacha odds right there. I mean, don't pull, man. Don't pull. You're gonna
don't
waste all
pull.
your pulls.
Don't pull.
Don't do it. Oh
Oh
my
man.
god. So yeah, we probably have 2 more episodes of this if I had to guess, because we're on number 22, which will be the end of a longer season. So yeah, I'm kind of excited. Maybe we'll catch up and merge. I feel like we're like right on the cusp of that merge of how everything in the past and the future meld together.
It's about to get
you
really
know?
good. I know what's going to happen in the next episode, and I'm about to tell you next week is going to be amazing. Like I'm really excited.
Excellent, excellent. This show never. I feel like
If they
this show
can
never
animate it.
disappoints. Outside of that weird animation problem, the weird animation
Yeah.
problems. I don't even know what's going on with it. I feel like when we first started watching this show, they had a weird zoom in problem where like whenever they showed the humans, it was super zoomed in on their face for some reason. I noticed that in like maybe like the first 5 episodes that we watched, and I never understood why. So
Yeah, I think the whatever the studio is handling the CG, they're just really pressed on time, and I feel like all this is going to get fixed in the Blu-ray. But like I can understand they're
yeah,
trying to do a weekly show and not have delays. So I really think
yeah,
it's going to get smoothed out, because if you watch season 1 of Zombieland Saga, like 2 years ago, the CGI for Zombieland Saga was like it was everyone's biggest complaint about the show at the time. But I went through and watched the Blu-rays a couple days ago, and it's cleaned up. It's a lot better. It's like you can watch the Blu-rays now
yeah.
and not even like realize, oh man, this looks bad. Like it looks clean enough where it's passable. But before it was like, man, this is almost jarring. So hopefully they can
Yeah.
fix that out.
Yeah, and that'll be good. The world ends with you. So, world ends with you. There was a lot of stuff happened in this episode plot wise. You've got your zombie reapers who are controlled by the red skull pins and beat Neku. Figure out that you can knock the skull pins off, so their buddy reapers get saved and or at least unzombified, I should say, maybe not saved. There's a lot of dialogue back and forth about how Mr. H is Cat, and Cat is like the person, the architect of all of this kind of crap, and Beat's like, no, it can't be, and Neku's like, I'm so conflicted, and I'm like, I don't really care about your dialogue. Like, that whole sequence, I'm just like, I don't really care about this dialogue. It is needlessly tedious. And I'm just like, what? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
I guess that's what we're
it's a
at
lot better
now.
in the game. It feels a lot more natural and compelling in the game. The anime cuts out everything that's not absolutely essential, and so you're kind of left with just like, oh, this happens and this happens and this happens and this happens. So it's not as compelling.
Are we near the end of the game? Because they've only got like a few more episodes to set up for the next game, So I feel like
I'm still holding on to belief that they're going to try to have like at least one final episode that's going to set up the next game that comes out, I think, next month. Yeah, it comes out the day after my birthday. And so I think that there's going to be at least there's probably one episode that's going to set that up. And so they definitely are on track in order to finishing the week. They might be able to finish this week, next week, like the week of the game next week. They might be able to do that.
So then we get like one episode, like 12 would be the setup for the next.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight crunch, so they might try to stretch it out between 2, but they could do it. So I don't know.
Okay, but that's fine. I feel like we're close to the end, so that's good.
Yeah, the only thing while watching the anime, I was like, man, well, while watching all these events like happen right after another, I just kind of was sitting there like, I never questioned why didn't they just go to Mr. H in the beginning, like when they were running around town in order to try to figure out,
Yeah.
oh, what's going on? Like, what do we do? Where is the game master? And like, a guy that's literally on the inside, right? Like, you know where he works. You can trust him, or you thought you could trust him. Why did you wait to the end of the episode to go to him? And I'm like, okay.
That's a real good logistical question there. I mean, yeah, but they got there.
They did.
Hey, Winston, can you check my slide? Because I don't think the slide is changing on the VMix. I'm on Tokyo Revengers. Sorry, we're having a little technical difficulty. There we go. There we go. Changed. Cool. Tokyo Revengers. Every week the show goes by, I feel like it's going down the toilet for me. Every single week. At least this one wasn't as bad as last week's, but it's still... this show frustrates the ever-living crap. Do you like my screenshot? I took the screenshot for a very specific reason.
I mean, that's a good screenshot. Tokyo Revengers is kind of infuriating. Like, the overall the show, the things that are happening are good plot elements that exist, but the main character is absolutely incompetent, and it's starting to drive me up a wall. Like,
oh my god, and everybody loves him. His girlfriend loves him, and Draken loves him, and Mikey loves him, and he's just like, why? He's terrible. He's terrible at what he's supposed to be doing. He's real whiny. I mean, like, come on. I mean, you could say him standing up to the dude was a good thing, and that's fair. Like, way back, he stood up to the guy, but that's like the only good thing he's done. The rest of it is like really all over the board. He is failing the brother. He's failing the brother real hard, okay? The brother did so much work his whole life, and he's failing
we said this last week. If Hina was in charge of this, Hina would have had everything done by now. Hina was the real hero of this episode. This Takamichi, I was so infuriated when he picks up this man. Draken had just got stabbed, and he's bleeding out on the floor. And he picks him up, a man that's twice his size. He picks him up and tries to walk him to the hospital. I was so angry. Like, bro, find a phone and call an ambulance. And he's taking these tiny little baby turtle steps, walking a man twice his size to a hospital that might be on the other side of the town. Who knows where this hospital is? It must be clearly far away, considering it took all that time for the ambulance to even show up.
And the only reason that any of them are alive, is because of Hina. It's because of Hina. Because Hina's the only competent person in this show. It's like watching Harry Potter, and it's Hermione. She's Hermione.
Exactly.
Because Hermione is the reason they're all not dead. Oh my god, yeah. No.
Oh, yeah, that's a perfect analogy, right? So he's walking down the street in the rain with a man on his back, and Hina runs after him and says, hey, I called the ambulance. You don't have to walk anymore. So he's like, all right, sweet. And he laid Draken down in the middle of the rain. Find some shelter. My god. Find some shelter.
It didn't seem to hurt him, because Draken is apparently like the most badass human being on the face of the planet, because he's been stabbed and was unconscious, and he just gets up and he's like, we're gonna rumble? I'm ready to rumble. And like Draken ain't even playing. He's just like, I'm gonna beat somebody.
Just think about all the fights he's had over the last like 2 hours. First he got beaten in the head with a baseball bat. That's why his head is messed up, right? Then he got stabbed. But he's been down for the count twice. He's getting up a third time and says, all right, I guess I'm gonna die tonight.
Yeah. And then freaking Takamichi's solution is, I'm gonna try to, even though I'm majorly hurt for many other battles too, I'm gonna try to fist fight this guy who has already kicked every piece of my ass in an earlier episode. And their thing is, we're gonna bet millions of dollars, probably facetiously, on Takamichi winning. And this is the dumbest show, Eric. I can't. I just can't.
Here's another part that got me mad. Takamichi runs towards the guy, right? And the guy pulls out a knife and stabs him in the hand. And I was like, dang, that's messed up. But then the guy lets go of the knife and just lets Takamichi just walk away with it. Takamichi pulls out the knife and throws it on the ground. I'm like, bro, bro.
It's the worst. He's the worst. Takemichi is the worst character in this whole freaking show. I can't deal with him. I cannot. His friends showed up, by the way, because Hina called them. Let's point that out, too.
Hina was making calls the whole time. Hina's been making calls the whole time. I'm pretty sure she's on the phone right now. So there was a point where the main character finally pulls out a win by, I don't know how he got on top of the guy. I forgot his name.
He's like on his back or whatever. Yeah.
I don't know how he got up there. It really doesn't make any sense at all. They literally cut the frames out of anime because they can't explain it either, right? so he got on the guys. He got on top of the guy and strangled him, right? He strangled him, and the guy passed out. All right, you won one out of you beat up one out of the 7 people that's about to attack you. Good job.
Yeah.
Right. So
and they're not slowing down either.
Yeah, they send the girls away saying, "All right, we got this." And him and Draken are like, "All right, we about to die right now because we are spent, but we're gonna it's just gonna have to be that way, right?" And so I just don't get it. Like, Hina is probably making phone calls right now, handling stuff while they're just sitting there. Like, that Hina is definitely doing something because there's no way she would just run away and hide because Hina is better than that.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely not. Hina's going to find, like, cops or something Hina's going to save the day. Maybe Hina took secret capoeira classes with the alpaca from Odd Taxi, and then Hina's going to show up and kick them all in the face and save the day. All right, I would believe that abso-freaking-lutely. Hina is the real MVP of this show, and Takemichi is the worst, the absolute worst. But whatever.
We got all our anger out. All our anger out came out just for this show.
Oh, it did. I was so frustrated. I feel like I was more frustrated last week, but I was still really frustrated with the show this week. Like, my God. Last week, though, when he finds Draken stabbed at the end, and I'm like, it's the only job you had. The only job, and you failed at it. Like, my God.
At the beginning of this episode, when they show him finding Draken, he just sits in the rain crying out his name for like 2 minutes instead of like saying, guys, one of our leaders been stabbed. And Mikey had to be like, hey, yo, Takemichi, what's up? Why are you yelling out Draken's name? He's like, hey, Draken's been stabbed. And I'm like, yeah. That's all you had to say for the last 2 minutes. You could have got some help in that time. Whatever. I just thought the writing of the show is just so hand wavy and just weak. Like,
yeah, it is. Absolutely. But whatever.
Yeah.
On to a better show. Nagatoro.
That's our transition. That's our transition for like half the stuff. On to a better show.
You like my screenshot for this one too?
Yeah, that sums up the episode pretty much.
So the first part of the episode, Nagatoro sees Senpai running and failing miserably at it, and she's like, man, you're kind of terrible. Let me help you out. So she kind of teaches him how to run in the first part. But then they wind up doing weird stretches, and they get caught by her friend with the weird eyes. The one with the weird eyes.
Yeah, her name is I think Yoshine, so they call her Yoshi.
Yeah,
and that's why she had the Yoshi cosplay like 3 episodes ago.
Yeah. But then there's like a cute interstitial where she like plays it off like they're doing a fusion dance from Dragon Ball, and so there's like a little interstitial frame thing where she does a fusion dance with Yoshi, and they turn into this hybrid thing and scare the crap out of Senpai in like the flash screen, and it's really funny.
Yeah, like the mini segments of the episodes are always really, really fun.
They are.
But the main, I guess, thing of the episode.
Well, actually, the main part of the episode, the most interesting part of the episode was in like the last 5 minutes. But like, so earlier when he designed like the cat girl outfit, she actually went and commissioned the seamstress team to make it so he could draw her in the cat girl outfit. She is fulfilling his furry fantasies every step of the way. Every step of the way.
You gotta respect her commitment, though. She definitely was embarrassed, and she definitely didn't want to do it. But she was like, "I don't back down. I don't back down, especially not in front of the main character." So she did it. That was a really accurate costume too. That was not like something like thrown together. Like that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Well, but he draws like the picture and stuff, and her and her weirdo friends, they wind up pushing him they go in the closet because the actual leader of the art club, who you've never seen in 10 episodes of this show, shows up. And it's a big-breasted woman. She even made the boing noise, like when, like when she comes in and like she shuffles about and then like her boobs bounce. And I'm like, was that necessary, first of all? But, I guess that's
Probably
what we're here for.
So,
but then, yeah,
so
and she's like,
apparently we're like almost 50 or 60. I was gonna say we're like 50 or 60 chapters into the manga right now. So like you're like, oh yeah, we've had 10 episodes of the anime, and like she's just now showing up. Like it's even further in the manga. Like
I know, man. I haven't got my manga in yet, but I'm going to read all 8 volumes that are out in English, so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, no, she just shows up and she's like, yeah, I think you're screwing around because I heard you were screwing around with these like popular girls, and that's not what this club room is. Even though I haven't been here the entire year whatsoever, and I've done absolutely nothing to support this club that I'm supposedly the leader of. Like, what? Who are you coming up in here? And then Nagatoro's like, no, I'm done. I have heard quite enough of this, and just busts out and like starts chewing her out. And I mean, that was real deserved, okay? Nagatoro was not overstepping.
On one hand,
every piece of
I'm
that
surprised
was real
the club is allowed. I'm surprised the club is allowed to stay in existence. Regardless, it has one active club member right now, so it's like I don't know if this really is a thing in Japan, or like Japan schools like really like
they got so much room that they're empty. Yeah,
like I feel like every anime has an episode where they're like, "Oh, the club's about to get disbanded. We need to get more members. We need to like have them fill out an application."
Yeah.
Like this is like such a like recurring like plot trope in anime, to the point where I'm like, there has to be some level of truth or something that this is based on, like, right? So it's like,
yeah,
he's the only guy showing up. Is that enough in order to be a club? I don't know.
I didn't think so, but I don't know. I don't live in Japan, so I don't know. But we're setting up for an art show contest where his art is going to be pitted against like the club president's art or something in the festival, and they have to set it up, and it has to be good, or else she's going to disband the club. I don't know how she can, because she's not really an active member. She even said in the episode, I'm not really an active member. And it's like, then get out. How about you leave? How about you get out of this series and let us go back to what we like?
It doesn't hurt. Like, it doesn't hurt just to have the club on the roster. So it's like, I don't know. A friend of mine says a friend of mine says that this character has good points to her that's about to get revealed next episode. So he told me to sit tight and watch and wait for the next episode.
Because I don't like her. I don't like her right now. I don't like her at all. Not even a little bit. She can get right out. She can leave this show. I like this show. I will protect this show. She can leave right now. Get out. There's the door. Don't let it hit you. Okay.
Okay. Here's the test though. Is your initial opinion of her worse than your initial opinion of Nagatoro?
Yeah, because I'm invested in the show now. So I'm invested in the show, and she's come in as I think she's an even worse character, like to some degree. Like, because, I don't like her. I don't like her.
All right.
She can get out.
Maybe she'll turn around. We'll have to wait and see.
Maybe. Shadow's house was illuminating this week. It's ironic.
They've been dropping a lot of information in the last couple episodes.
They really have. So Emilico and Kate make it back, and they do this weird thing in the tunnel where she's controlling the soot. She was hiding that she was controlling the soot from all the adult people, so none of the adult people knew until the last moment. But all of them supposedly get some sort of power, and they talked about all the different powers. The big thing that kind of happened in this one is that Shirley and her shadow died. We don't know what really happened. Though.
Shirley.
The shadow. Shirley's the shadow, and Rum is who knows where Rum is? She's getting repurposed as
They said that they had Rum drink the coffee, and they're gonna repurpose Rum as being one of the hooded maidens or whatever. Like they they did
say that.
Yeah,
all of the faces that drank the coffee have this weird like static in their eyes, and now they're all like devoted to grandfather and the whole family, and they're indoctrinated. But Kate was like, I don't like this coffee, and was like, I'm not gonna drink this coffee. So that was interesting.
So it doesn't affect the shadows to begin with. So they were just giving it to everybody that way. I guess the dolls don't get suspicious. But it's like,
Yeah.
dang, this coffee like robs them of their personality and makes them like loyal to the shadow rules. And so I'm like, dang, like I'm concerned about Miliko right now. Like
Yeah.
her personality is like that's her selling point. Like we can't have her like being under control. So hopefully Kate has like maybe the coffee is like, I don't know, have soot in it, and maybe Kate can like extract it from her
Control
body. I don't know.
so then maybe Kate will like help control them and get it out of them or something. Yeah, that's a good
Maybe.
theory. I like that. I like that.
So I'm really concerned for Miliko. I wish Shirley didn't die. I want the good things for Rum too. So like all my characters
Yeah.
are in a rough spot right now.
We also found out what the shadows actually are, and they're parasites that are mimicking humans, and that's why they have to take over the bodies later. Is because they take it over as a parasite, and the humans are really humans. So that makes it even more terrifying on a lot of different levels. But yeah, I was not expecting parasites. That's not at all what I was expecting out of the show. But I guess that's what we got.
Like, and I wasn't completely expecting that the shadows weren't the originals either. Like all the shadows have like very distinct personalities to the point where like I thought that I felt the shadows are really developed, and so for them to be the copies of the humans and not the other way around was like a pretty big plot twist. Although it feels like something that you should have seen coming, you know. But they did a really good job at masking it.
I don't feel like there was a lot of foreshadowing for a lot of the specifics of the secret here. Like, it's kind of like they just threw it in, but you know what? I'll take it. I don't care. It's cool. I like the show enough. It's fine. I don't mind.
I want to read the manga for Shadow's House, because apparently the manga for Shadow's House is 100% in color. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And so I want to really read it because the artwork is amazing. But it hasn't been licensed for English yet. Like you only can read it like unofficially on places. And so I really want to get licensed because I can just download it to my Kindle and read the whole thing. So hopefully the anime gets popular enough where they can finally bring that over to America.
Yeah, I'd like that. Yeah, we're definitely up for like an episode 12. I don't know how long the series is supposed to be, if it's supposed to go to 26 or not. But episode like 12 or 13 is probably going to be like some big movements, you know, because we're moving toward bigger things. We're getting a lot of reveals. So on to a much worse show.
Yeah, we had to do the opposite
Battle
this
Athletes.
time.
I want to like you so much. I really, really
Battle
do.
Athletes is
Okay.
really... Man, so you know what? So I don't hate the Battle Athletes. I don't even dislike it, honestly. Like it's bad, but it's not like insufferable, right? And so I just wish they tried a little harder, honestly. Like
Well, this episode in particular just felt so sloppily written. Like we're barreling toward the end and we don't know what we're doing, so we're just gonna do this sloppy piece where, oh, the first girl makes it to these doors and she can't push it, and now you can make it through the doors, but you don't make it to the next part. Oh, we make it to the next part. We can't climb up the tower with the lightning. Why would they be climbing a lightning rod? Why were they climbing lightning?
Like these challenges
in Ninja Warrior, you don't climb lightning rods, and this is basically Ninja Warrior. Okay,
They've done pretty crazy stuff too, like the climbing up the mountain that's exploding and falling, and people are literally falling to their death. Like they've done crazy stuff in this show before, but the lightning rod is probably a new extreme in the rain too. So that probably was a whole new extreme. But like it wasn't even even animated. Like when they finally showed Seva, the new like Eva's replacement, Seva, when they showed her going through the thing, they just teleported her from point to point to point to point. They didn't even show her running or jumping. It was like, nope, I'm here, now I'm here, now I'm here, now I'm here. And I'm like, man, guys, please try a little harder.
Nope, we don't get trying. We don't get trying. Everybody failed except for Seva. That's what you need to know from this. Some people withdrew, like the girl with the fake arm and leg couldn't get her stuff tuned in time, so she withdrew. I mean, the blonde girl, she failed. Yeah,
Like
I know. She
prosthetic
tries
leg
so
girl,
hard.
she really needs to just like call it quits. I mean, I like her conviction. I like her conviction. I like that she wants to like be the best, even though she's missing like multiple limbs. But man, until you get like, why is not like all they literally cloned Eva, so they have the technology to do like amazing things. Someone help this girl, give her better prosthetics because she's
Yeah,
breaking every single time. She
yeah.
even comes half
Every time we do
like
anything, you're right. Every time.
somebody
It does.
please help
I
her.
don't know.
What's the pink haired lady Paglina? Get this girl some better
Paglia, yeah.
prosthetics,
I know.
please.
No, but Paglia only cares about Ava because that's the ship there. Okay, like you gotta pair up the lesbian ships here. It is what it is. That's how this show is built. Apparently,
Is Paglina and Eva really the ship? I didn't realize they
I
were a ship
guess
yet, but that's
Paglina is
probably
the.
true.
But she did all. She turned heel for Ava. It was to
She
save
did.
Ava.
You know
That's
what?
clearly
She
the ship.
did.
I
Man,
know,
but you
man.
know, are they going to bring back the ships? Because 2 episodes ago they were like, "Oh, now everyone's lesbian," but then like now it's like, "Oh, we're not going to touch on that anymore." And I'm like, okay,
Who knows? Who knows?
so
Who knows? I don't know.
but
I don't
like
know. We'll
I
see.
wrote my notes. This episode feels like, you know how in video games where you beat like the one of the bosses or who you thought was the final boss, but then there's another final boss afterwards. And when you beat them and they join your team, all of a sudden all the abilities that they've been like destroying you with
They
for the
just go
whole
away.
game, yeah, they
Yep,
go
that's
away.
what Ava is.
Now you're like a normal character. That's Eva. Eva has been dominating these races, like
Yep. And now she does it.
champion. And now, like, she jumps once and like, oh my head, and she falls into the water. And I'm like, really? Now that she's a good guy, she can't even like run anymore. Okay.
Nope. Of course not. And then she has a bad headache and falls off the platform. And nope. We're done.
I was like, dang. Okay.
It's like when I was playing Kingdom Hearts 3 and you get to Frozen World and you fight Marshmallow and that exact thing happens and then Marshmallow joins your party. And I'm sorry if this is a spoiler, Eric, but it's my favorite part of Kingdom Hearts 3 is you get to actually play with Marshmallow. I love Marshmallow, but he's so underpowered as opposed to when you fought him, and it's heartbroken. I love him a lot.
Maybe now that we're taking 2 weeks off, I can actually beat Kingdom Hearts 3.
You can finish Kingdom Hearts 3. Miki Domomoto there. I also enjoyed the original, which is why I made Eric watch this show. But let me tell you that this is crap compared to the original one. It's just crap, man. There's like one cool fight sequence that happened 2 episodes ago, and the rest of the show is pretty crap. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird that it's a sports show and they're not putting their budget into animating the sports. It's like, why are you even here then? Like you could be doing something else if you're not going to animate the sports in a sports show. Can you imagine if Yuri on Ice had bad animation for the skating? Like, what else is left at that point?
Can you imagine if Haikyuu had like just stick figures of Hinata jumping up and tapping the ball?
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, why are you here?
I don't know. But hey, we're almost at the end of this series, so I guess that's a good thing. I still like it way better than I liked Yashahime. Okay,
Yashahime will forever be our bar for how bad a show can be.
It's the lowest thing. I feel so bad because they just announced it's going on Toonami, and I mean, good for them, for getting something that's going to be pretty popular. But I'm so sorry for everybody who has to watch Yashahime on TV now. Like, I'm sorry.
Inuyasha is such a major part of Toonami's legacy that like they had to do it. And like, I mean, it's there.
Yeah, it is. All right. Now again, on to something legitimately very much better. To Your Eternity. To Your Eternity. Gugu continues to be the GOAT. Gugu is the GOAT. He is the #1 best character in this entire series. All right,
man.
You thought it was all going to be bad. No.
I was like not expecting Gugu to just come out like, like I've been lifted.
I know. I wasn't expecting a time jump of 4 years. I certainly wasn't expecting buff Gugu. Who was expecting buff Gugu? I mean,
like now,
come on,
anytime someone tries to take his mask, he is going to show them like why you don't touch the mask.
Oh my god! Oh, so
Gugu is not going to get bullied ever again.
Gugu's fire. Fu is fighting like that the tree monster thing and is losing. And Gugu's like, oh, it's a tree. Let me go get fire, and gets fire and goes to the old man to put more booze in him to spit the fire out and light the big monster on fire. Gugu is a champion.
Straight up,
he's a #1 champion.
Gugu
oh my god,
got that liquor and straight up did fire style jutsu on that monster. Like he did the blow. He blew the air and the fire came out, and I was like, oh my god, this is better. That was better animated than even when Sasuke does it in Naruto. Like Sasuke ain't got nothing on Gugu. Gugu burned that monster to a crisp.
He did. Oh my god. And there's a whole funny scene in between because he spit the booze out, but he also swallowed a bunch of it. So he comes back and what's her face? Rain's parents are there and he's drunk as a skunk. He's a child and he's drunk and talking about how he loves her and stuff and how he needs more booze. And he's drunk as a skunk.
That was good because when Gugu goes back to the shop and he's like he's like, well, I need to get this liquor and head out. But I want to take a minute in order to like address this issue of Reem's parents, and they were like, oh yeah, are you mad that like we like set up your like engagement? And he's like, oh, you about to get married? Well, that doesn't matter because there's not a man on this planet that loves her more than I do. And he just walks out, like he leaves it at that.
He's a champion. Gugu does not turn around to look at explosions after he causes them, okay? He just walks right out.
Oh my
God. Gugu is the best. And then it doesn't matter that Reen didn't care about him before because you know what? He's huge and buff now. Holy crap. Like, my God.
It doesn't matter that he doesn't have a face. Like, I'm pretty sure Reem can appreciate the muscles. Who needs a face when you have a 12-pack?
I know. Oh my god. Fu was given the option to leave, but decided to stay, and we got a 4-year time skip, so that's where we are now, which probably means something terrible is going to happen to all of these characters in like the last episode or two, because that's kind of the modus operandi for this show. It's just where we're going.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It was really good. It was a really good episode this week. I don't know. Gugu is a champion. Gugu is my #1.
And Fu seems like now there's a time skip. Fu seems to be like he's almost has the mental capacity of an adult. Like he's still a little like not completely like on everyone's level. But he's functional now. So now we get to see Fu actually like knowing how to do stuff, which is nice.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, Fruits Basket. All right. I need to preface this because Erik and I have a different relationship to Fruits Basket from each other. But that's because I watched the show like 20 years ago, all right? Whenever the first one... It's been like 20 years since the first one came out.
Yeah, I did watch the original Fruits Basket too.
I've lived with the love of this show for 20 years, okay? And to see it all come to fruition and see the ending of it animated is absolutely magnificent. Erik, you disappearing on me?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right. But it's really, really cathartic to see the end of the show after having started it 20 years ago. Okay, very cathartic. You got everybody's curse broke this week. Everybody.
I knew it wasn't going to be one by one. And
it was going to happen. Yeah, it was going to accelerate, but it was a really, really cute set of scenes where, like, Toru and Kyo hug, and then he does not turn into a cat, and they're shocked. And then the snake guy winds up, he tells the girl that works in his shop that he loves her for the first time ever.
I really supported that shit, too. I really supported that. She's a good girl, and he can finally, show his affection towards her without worrying about the curse. So I'm glad that all the characters can move on with their baggage. They all the characters Fruits Basket has so much baggage for everybody, and now they're finally like, man, this is what it feels like to not have all this weight on your shoulder, and everyone's like, man, it feels nice.
Oh my god, I know, and everything happened, and then we got what is maybe the real backstory of how the cat's in the Zodiac, that the cat wasn't part of it, but the cat's what is wrong with you people? You shouldn't want to live forever. That's like torturing yourself for all eternity. But all the animals are like, nah, that's okay. And the god is like, well, I kind of already live forever, and I want you to be with you guys, so I'm going to torture you for all eternity. And it certainly turns the story a little bit more on its head.
He didn't do it to torture them. He did it out of love,
but
because he was like, oh yeah, I'm going to invite you to a banquet,
out.
and we're going to all meet and cupcake together. And so
the cat was pointing out that it was torturous, though. You know, like, I didn't want this. I didn't ask for this. You know, I needed a natural death, just like a natural person. And he's like, well, it's too late. I fed you the sake. Sorry. Oops.
So, like, the first time I've ever heard the Chinese zodiac story of the animals was through Fruits Basket. And so, like, the whole story of the rat tricking the cat and telling him it was the wrong day, and that's why the cat never got invited to be the 12 member part of the 12 zodiac, and that's why we had 12 months, right? I've learned that story specifically through Fruits Basket. And so when they kind of like then goes back and tell you, oh, that story that everyone knows is fiction, and here's the real story of how the animals got their powers and how the cat is related to God. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But then it kind of just not destroys, but it kind of unhinges some of the I guess roots that the show was setting up. Like we all just knew that Kyo and Yuki will hate each other because they're the cat and the rat.
You could also say that the myth that had influenced all the people around them did more to facilitate their relationship than the actual truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the idea that people thought that did more to them than what actually was the truth, you know?
Yeah, so. and so it just feels like a little bit of an afterthought thrown in at the last minute. And it would have been nice if this story had like a bigger, I guess, impact for the series as a whole, and not just, okay, we're done. Here's the real story. Happy ending. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not mad at it. I think Fruits Basket is still a really good show. I just didn't think that the changing of the lore was necessary. But
yeah,
still pretty good episode.
The rest of the episode was a bunch of the Zodiac members coming to terms in different ways with being released from the curse, because they all kind of feel it when it happens, you know?
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, most of the end of the episode was the retelling of the story of the Zodiac.
Another thing I kind of got a little mad at. I get mad whenever Toru tries to play this false equivalency game with Akito or people around her, where they're like, oh, like, here's all my flaws. Like, the character be like, oh, here's all my flaws. Here's all the reason why I dislike this about myself. And then Toru's like, oh, but I'm not the saint you think I am. Here's all my flaws as well. And I'm like, Toru, you're literally written to be perfect. Like, you have not thought a negative thought about anybody in this entire show. Like, all the people that's been like hounding you since episode 1. Like, Akito has been in pain the whole time, and you literally has never had a single negative thought about anybody. Don't try to claim you're not a saint. And so I hate it whenever she does that. So, but I mean, whatever. That's fair. They're having closure now.
That's fair. All right, Batman. I mean Mars Red. Mars Red. God. Certainly mean Mars Red.
Mars Red.
Okay.
Mars Red.
So Mars Red.
I have to push myself to watch it. I have to. It's.
Okay. This episode was weird and neat. So you left off where Little Reporter Girl and Defrot are in this like place trapped by the Rufus guy, who's the other blonde dude, and Defrot's like a vampire, so like he's got, and then Maeda shows up, who's also a vampire, and so they're like, the sun is visible, but Maeda winds up attacking, and he's gonna kill him, but he gets away, or Defrot doesn't die, but freaking Reporter Girl gets real hurt, so Defrot's like,
Maeda stabs her. Well, here's the thing. Yeah. Here's one thing. How in the world did she even intercept that attack? Maeda was trying to stab Defruit, and they're literally moving at light speed. Like, she can't even keep up with their moves. She's watching like the tunnel they're in collapse or be destroyed around her, and she can't even see them fighting. But somehow she managed to intercept Maeda's attack and take a hit for Defruit. And I'm like, you can't even see them attacking. How did you manage to outrun Maeda? There's no way. But all right, she gets stabbed. Now she's fatally wounded. So
yeah, well, she's like dying, so Defraud is like, hey, dude, to the younger dude, you need to come help her. She's gonna die. So
he
they've
literally
got
yells
this
across the
flying
country.
contraption. They've got this flying contraption that is basically a Batman suit. It is
Yeah,
completely a
100%.
Batman
It's
suit
just
because it's
Batman.
daytime. So they've
It's
got
just
like a
Batman.
whole like, headpiece and this like special like sunblock stuff that helps them because the heat will build up and kill them. The very last scene is him flying off with her, like, and he starts steaming from the inside because he's been out in the sun for too long, So I feel like he
Yeah, I
might
don't know
not
how
be
long
long for this
he
world.
can. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna kill
Yeah.
him. Like who is the main character at this point? Like, is Maeda still the main character? Is what's his name? What's
Maybe the
is
other guy, the younger guy, yeah, Shintaro.
is
Yeah,
he? Like, I don't
but
know. Like, I feel like the show
hey,
keeps waffling between who wants to be the main
there was
character.
no main character in Game of Thrones, and that was great until the last season. Okay, I'm just saying you can do this without a main character.
Okay,
But you got a lot
okay.
of reveals in this one. The weird black blood stuff made like normal vampires like addicted, but it would turn humans into vampires. So it does different things to different people. And you found that out through this too.
Yeah.
At the end, you've got all the old man council is now completely controlled by Rufus the vampire because the guy that was making the vampire core and everything, the old dude, the general or whatever, he's like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, we need you to obey Rufus from now on. And then it's got Rufus and he's just moving their mouths to make them talk. And it was an unintentionally hilarious scene. I laughed through that.
I don't understand. I don't understand the commander's like plan. Like he just got betrayed by Rufus, and so like I can understand Rufus's plan because like he was pulling the strings behind everything. But the commander is like, what was your end game or what was your end goal? Like how did you allow Rufus to just like pull one over on you that easily? So like I still don't understand his motives.
Rufus has been in some machinations for a couple of episodes. The only other thing that was in this episode is the guy that runs the underground market with the cool vampire manservant is a human, but was like looked after as a child by vampires, and his life was saved by like this vampire dude. That's why he loves vampires and helping them out so much, because like he was like his best bud who wound up sacrificing himself like when he was a kid was a vampire. So
I don't think that guy had to sacrifice himself though, because the kid was dangling from the tree. And so if he would have let go and fell, he would have fell on his feet. Like he probably would have broke his legs. He probably would have broke his legs. But he would have.
He also would have fell in the shade. The guy had to just stop in the shade. It feels like
yeah. So
okay.
So I don't think the vampire had to throw his life away for that.
I agree.
A broken bone is not equivalent to you burning up in the sun.
It
doesn't.
Yeah.
Way out.
I agree. You know what time it is, Eric?
It's
odd taxi time.
Oh,
it's odd taxi time. Oh my god.
Boy.
Okay. So the vast majority of this episode was about the history of Mystery Kiss. Okay. So you've got
a lot of stuff happened.
I mean, it did, but like a lot of this episode was telling you what happened with Mystery Kiss. So Mystery Kiss starts, and I don't remember anybody's name. So the white dog girl, right, is selected as the center. They all audition, and 3 of them get in, and the white dog girl gets selected as the center. And this like cat chick is one of the side ones. But throughout the episode, the white dog is so jealous of the cat because she just has better motivations and she's a better dancer and she like tries really. They even said she's still on the track team and still participates in all this and works harder than everybody else, and she's just like really good at it. So they're getting toward their debut, and this is kind of building up with the white dog chick. And so there's this pig guy who's like a producer, and he comes in and he's like, nope, make her the center, and points to the cat chick. And of course the white dog chick is just like crestfallen, like absolutely rough. So in a weird way, like in this weird scene, she calls the cat chick to the office, right? intending to kill her if she says no, which was creepy. Like that, it feels like a real big leap right there that you just made to be willing to kill her, right? And so she's like, I'm gonna pressure her to step down as the middle, or I was ready to kill her. However, she shows up and girl's already dead in the office, and nobody knows why at this point, right? So she calls the dog manager, and she confesses everything. She's like, "Nah, man, I was ready to kill her, but she was already dead." So they get Yano and the bear dude to take the body and cut, and I mean, like, not even like throw it in the river intact, cut it up with like chainsaws and crap, and it's just this like really violent scene. Like, they're just like chopping it to bits.
And it's not even like the mobsters like did it. Like, they had the manager help out. The manager was cutting through her bones and the blood splattering in his face. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, at least put on a mask.
And they're all covered in blood too. Oh my god! And they had to like the white dog girl had to help them put like the body in, and they threw it in the river. And that was what happened at the end of the last episode. Is they found the body of this girl, and they just recast her with another.
It should be noted that white dog and Yuki are the ones that threw the body in the river. No, sorry. White dog and manager threw the body in the river. Yano and the bear guy did not touch that body bag at all. Like, not for 1 second. And so, Yano's when they check for fingerprints, like, Yano is like, nah, I ain't touch her. I ain't touch her.
Yano knows what's up. Okay, like, So in the last episode, they found her body, and they identified her, and it's shocking to me. They basically just like lied to her parents, like, to get them to file a missing persons report, but then to retract it, like so they could find stuff out. Like, whose parents would go along with that? First of all, it was really complicated.
Wild, because the parents even filed the missing persons report under a fake name. That way, Mystery Kisses fans wouldn't realize that one of their members is missing. And in the meantime, while they were looking for, while the police were looking for this missing girl, Mystery Kiss replaced Yuki with another black cat named Sakura. Yep. And so Sakura has been pretending to be Yuki this whole time in order to cover for that. And they even
called her Yuki. Like, she even like had to go by her name and stuff in certain parts too. And it was really creepy. And she was just like cool with it, just going with the flow. Like, oh my god,
she was happy. She was happy for it. Like, they didn't tell her about that they expect Yuki to be dead. But they knew that Yuki was dead. But she was happy because she was like, oh yeah, I was told that I was 4th place in terms of getting picked, and I just barely missed the cut. So here's my chance. She doesn't care. She doesn't care. Yep. She's like, whatever, I'll get in wherever I can. And even when they're having a press conference in order to say, all right, you all heard the news that Yuki's body been found, and yet somehow she's still been performing with us. We're going to come out and tell you that here's our excuse for replacing Yuki and not telling anybody. Sakura is in the press conference, right? If you sign up to be a replacement, right? It's like that's what you get hired for, to be a replacement for somebody while they're out sick or they're missing. You don't then be like, oh, I guess I'm going to be a part of this news conference for murder. You know what I mean?
Yep. It was real heavy. Oh my god!
Sakura is so okay with it. And so I'm so suspicious of Sakura. I'm pretty sure Sakura had something to do with this. Like, my theory is that when Rue found Yuki's body in the office, Rue called Yuki out and said, hey, meet me in the office super late, like after the train stopped running, like meet me pretty much at midnight. Manager was there, and he came in the room after Yuki found the body. I mean, after Rue found the body. There was no reason for him to be there. I'm pretty sure. I feel like Manager and Sakura might have gotten together and killed Yuki, and didn't expect anybody to be there. And then Rue just happened to come in, and he had to be like, "Oh, what's going on here? Oh my god, is Yuki dead? Oh my god!" Because
Yeah.
There's also an audio drama for this where you get we get to hear all the audio recordings from all the pins that are in the show. Like the pins can pick up like every character walks around with a pin. It's actually an audio device that the giraffe guy is listening into.
Yeah.
And so there's an audio drama on YouTube for this. And in that, there was an episode weeks ago where all the girls in Mystery Kiss play this game called Two Truths and a Lie, where they write three pieces of information on pieces of paper, and they all put it in a box, and they pull out the notes and figure out, okay, which one of these three pieces of paper are a lie, which one is a big secret, and which one is a small secret. And so there are way too many, like, when they pull all the stuff out, there are way too many like troubling notes in there. Like it was well over the 3 limit for lies. And they were like, wait a minute. Some of us done some like crazy stuff, because one of them was murder, one of them was like hiding a body, and then one was I'm a couch casting. And so one of the girls seemed to be sleeping possibly with the manager in order to get their spot. Yeah. And so I think Sakura might be sleeping with the manager, and they teamed up in order to kill Rue, or sorry, in order to kill Yuki.
Because the manager didn't want to change the lineup either. He was upset by that, and he didn't want to change the lineup. So it was in his vested interest to make a girl who is less good at this, honestly, in the same place as Yuki.
When Sakura was practicing, she was falling all over the place. She was not first place material. Like, it's really strange she was even in the running. So I have lots of theories.
Yep.
This show is wild.
It is. It absolutely is. This was a wild episode, and I loved it. And the show is great. And I love Yano's raps. Every time Yano raps, I'm into it. I mean, he throws some sick beats, man.
So even after all the stuff we talked about, we didn't even go finish the summary, right? Because another big thing that happened was we found out that what's the monkey guy? The monkey guy, not the comedian.
It starts with a K. Yeah, it's the monkey guy. I forget what his name is.
It was Dorky or something like that. He's actually Yuki's father, and so everything is having a big effect, because he's the guy that the eraser is based off of. The eraser that main character currently has in his pocket that he got from Alpaca Girl that was in the auction.
Yep, that was the rare eraser from the guy who's trying to shoot Otokawa. Yep.
Oh my God! All the pieces are colliding together, and I don't know where everything is going to go, but I'm so invested and I'm so interested. I just can't wait.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Slime Diaries. Slime Diaries was cute this week. It was all about Christmas, and it was all about Rimuru trying to explain Christmas without explaining Christianity or Santa Claus. So that was a thing.
It's a little difficult. He had to be like, yeah, there's this man that breaks into your house, and the guy was like, what? He's going to break in? And he's like, yeah, but like he's going to have presents. And he's like, oh, and there's a party. Oh, okay, now I'm on board.
No, you're gonna give me gifts? Okay, that's cool. So like, Rimuru tries to give a gift to Milim, and she's like, I like how Milim has an ability to see everything around, like to know what's going on, and he's trying to give her a gift as Santa Claus, and she's like, "Come here, Santa! I found you." It's a great scene.
Yeah. So Milim's ability is that she can ignore whatever she doesn't want to hear or see, and so they literally explain it as a skill of hers, like it's a passive ability to ignore whatever she doesn't want to hear.
Yeah. Then the Dryad chick, her sisters come in, and they took her back, right? They took her back to the forest or something.
They took her back to the forest.
Yeah. And then there's a big Christmas party. And all the children play the bells, just like in like real, like, you know, midnight mass kind of crap in the U.S. It was very Christmassy. Like, for a culture that has no concept of Christmas, they definitely got Christmassy. Like,
yeah, they got it. And then your boy was in this episode. He got into an argument.
What?
He got into an argument. Gabiru got into an argument about the quality of the kids singing, because he was like, "Oh man, just put your heart into it and sing loud, and you got it." And the other guy, I forgot his name. Dang, it's somewhere in my
Human-
notes. But the other guy was like,
Yeah.
oh no, you gotta like actually have like quality in your singing. And they just get into this heated argument about
Yeah.
They're
It was
just
a cute
kids,
episode.
man. Let 'em
I mean,
sing.
yeah. Oh, the Orc King. The Orc King made a little gift for his little child follower, and it was the cutest scene.
It
The Orc
was.
King is
We
the
gave
best
him-
dad.
He is. She gave him like, I don't know, like a pine cone, and he gave her like a wood carving of her. And I'm like,
It's so
that's
cute.
great. But where is her parents? Like, like, is he now her
Her
adopted
parents
father?
were the Orc King now. The Orc King is her benefit or her guardian. That's what it is. It's decided. All right. It's decided.
Yo, so yeah, Slime Diaries is always fun. I can't wait until season 3 starts in like a couple weeks. So
yeah. All right, so I have a confession to make. I could not finish all of the shows this week. I did my Kanye best, but yeah, I didn't get to Zombieland. So Eric's gonna be talking about Zombieland today by himself.
all right.
In the last episode, Saga is falling into the cataclysmic experience that was foretold by prophecy. That's what we left with. It is like a blind react, I guess.
Yeah, so the episode starts with Sakura waking up, and she walks up, and at first she thinks something's wrong with her body because she's like almost seasick, and she can't walk straight. So then she's like, "Man, am I like stop working? Is something wrong?" But then she looks out the window, and she's literally at sea. The whole town floods to the point where their whole house is literally floating down the river, and she starts freaking out, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, put on your makeup real quick because if something happens, we gotta be ready." So they all get on their makeup, and the house is randomly arrives on shore, and they're like, "Oh my god, like we weren't even at sea, like we literally was in the center of Saga Park, like the park." And it's just like we floated off to like a higher ground. And so everyone, their house collapsed because it was already old. And so they're like, "Oh man, we gotta like save Saga because the whole town is underwater. Everyone's evacuating to shelters." And so all the girls then go down to like the shelter, and they try to help out by giving out food and performing for the kids while everyone's like trying to like get news information because all the cell phone towers and all the internet is down for all of Saga. So they can't even like call for help. And then meanwhile, Kotaro is still locked in the bar. The bar suffers so much damage, he can't even open the door, and water is coming in, and he's literally drowning. And he's barely like finding air pockets in order to like not die. And so he's literally being drowned in the bar. And the police officer comes and saves him just in time, him and the old man. So as Kotaro,
well, the old man is immortal, so.
Well, he's immortal as long as Saga is alive, and so Saga right now is in such bad shape that he's rushed to the hospital. Like Saga is in like really bad shape. So Kotaro finally gets out of the bar and he runs down to the house in order to find the house completely destroyed, and he's trying to find the girls, and he finally realizes that they're at the shelter. But the thing is, he's been like gone for like 2 days, and the girl has been like with their same makeup from 2 days ago, and their makeup is starting to crack off. And so while they're like trying to perform and keep everyone's spirits up, they have to worry about not exposing themselves. And so they come up with this idea in order to like have like these clay dolls, like make clay masks for themselves on like spur in the moment, and go out on stage in order to like hide the fact that their makeup is completely ruined. But of course, the moment they jump on stage, the mask cracks because they literally made it like 10 minutes ago. And so they're like, "Oh snap, everyone knows that we're zombies now." So they go out and try to make this huge apology and be like, "Oh, sorry guys, we're actually zombies." And the kids are like, "No, you're not. You're not scary enough to be zombies." And they're like, "Let's find a different word for them. You're Fran Chichulu, whatever the name is." And so they realize that all the kids are like still like there for them, even though they're like zombies. And so they decide to like play it off and say, "Oh, we put on all this zombie makeup for you, and like we tried to scare you, but you didn't buy it." So they go out and perform, and Kotaro finally shows up, and him and the reporter are like, okay. They come to understand that the girls aren't being forced to be zombies or being idols. And so Kotaro tells them, "Okay, we still have to do the show. The show's in 8 days. The town's flooded, but we're still doing this. You're not going to have time to practice, but we're going to do it live." And so that's how the episode ends.
Yeah. I mean, well, he has such a good track record of event planning from the last time, let me tell you, okay?
I mean, he really is the worst events planner in the history of the world.
Did he really confess to Sakura? Is that really a thing that happened here?
Yes. So I forgot the episode ends with Sakura walking up to Kotaro and she's like, "Hey, I just wanted to tell you, like, even though all the crazy stuff you've been through, I just want to tell you thank you for making me an idol. Like, you made my dreams come true, and regardless of anything, you never gave up on us except that one time." Like she literally
except
said,
that one
"You never
time,
gave
when
up
you
on us
absolutely
except that one time,"
and disappeared for a while,
and
left us with a $20 million yen or 20 million yen bill. Let's not forget about that time, because I didn't forget about that time. I'm just saying.
So when he hears that, he finally like has this like vindication moment, and he's like, yes, like he has a flashback of when he knew her in high school, because he actually were like friends with her in high school, and that's why he brought her back. And so he has this moment of like finally feeling, yes, I finally like did it. And he tells her, "You're the heart of the group, and as long as you're here, as long as you're trying, I'll always be there to help you out, and I will always have what it takes to be there for you." And like he just has this really roundabout way of confessing that he'll always be there for her, and it's so weird and it's so forceful and it's just so over the top, and she just doesn't know how to react. She just stands there, but then he walks off.
Well, it was really weird, so that's fair. That's fair.
He tried though.
I guess our last episode is going to be like them performing at the end of Saga, like when everything's drowning and the apocalypse has come to Saga.
Yeah, so I guess they're going to try to save it that way. So like, it's all coming together. I think this season has been pretty good. The animation has been great. The music numbers have been great.
The music's been really good. I was going to say the music in this season has been very, very good. Cannot complain about that. So.
Another reason to watch this episode, we get to see Lily do her Scooby-Doo bop bop whatever thing again.
Oh, nice. Excellent. I love her weird scat thing. It's scat like the songs, not like the poop. Don't worry.
Oh. Okay. Yes.
That's what it's called. That's what the musical style is called. Okay.
I know.
All right, moving on. Our spin the wheel this week was Minami-ke. Sorry, Eric, I didn't realize that only season 4 was on Funimation, so we watched some of season 4. But they're all the same. It's very slice of life. Yeah. Like, it's 3 sisters, and they live together, and the middle one is kind of weird. It really hinges on the middle one being incredibly weird. Like, a lot of the jokes come from that.
It is a little strange to have this type of character dynamic. Usually it shows about like siblings. They're all like either twins or somewhat close to age. But for this one, the youngest one is in elementary school. The middle one is in high school. And it seems the oldest one is like college. I don't know. And so
yeah,
I did find it a little unusual to have one of the main characters be in college and another character be in elementary school, and have them all kind of have like an equal amount of spotlight. But it does focus on the middle one a lot. Although this episode was primarily from the perspective of the youngest sister.
But the age ranges are actually pretty comparable to Marge Comes In Like a Lion. Marge Comes In Like a Lion has 3 sisters that are very have a similar thing, but that's a much more serious and story-driven show than this. This is like we're just bullshitting around for every day as sisters, and playing pranks on each other and being weird together. It's very slice of lifey, like very slice of lifey. So
yeah,
but I thought it was cute. I told you this one wasn't bad. This was not a bad show.
Oh, yeah,
Eric is convinced I only ever put bad shows on the wheel, but this is not a bad show.
So I actually saw clips of this anime years ago from there's a good AMV I saw with it. And so I always thought that this would be a type of show that I would like or enjoy, but I never got around to watching it. So I'm not sure I'm down for watching 4 seasons of this.
I only ever watched the first season, so yeah.
I'm really surprised this type of show would get 4 seasons. That's a lot. But seasons 1 through 3 doesn't appear to be on any official streaming service, which is a little strange. I don't know. Maybe it must have came out before we kind of got to the point. I was gonna say this must have came out before we got to the point where everything gets licensed. So we only got season 4.
Yeah. Well, it's time to spin the wheel. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yep. All right. Let's get one of my shows. We haven't got one of my shows in a long time. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it?
The Ice OVA. Yes! This is one Winston put on. I heard him exclaim
garbage.
from across the room.
It's probably garbage.
So
it's probably
it's on Verve?
Yeah.
It's on Verve.
It's almost certainly garbage. I'm sure it's garbage. Is it?
I don't know. Winston put it on.
Winston, is this better or worse than Ferris Forest 5 or what is it? Fairy Forest, whatever?
Oh, much better animation.
He says much better. Much better.
Okay, all right. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, much better animation. He said much better animation. So
he didn't say quality though. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll check it out.
Yeah. Well, we'll give it a go. Give it a go.
Ice OVA on Verve.
Actually, hey, since we're gonna be gone for 2 weeks, spin it again. Let's do 2.
Okay.
Let's do 2. We're gonna do 2.
All right. What else?
Oh, Shattered Angels. I put this one on.
Oh my God! I should have stopped you. I should have protested. What is this? What is Shattered Angels?
Okay. This one is very, very pretty, but the plot is kind of weird. So, but it's real pretty. You're gonna like watching the one episode. Okay, enjoy it.
Oh, it's only one episode.
No, you're only gonna watch 1 or 2 episodes of each one of these because it's a spin the wheel show.
Yeah.
But
okay, so we have Shattered Angels and Ice OVA.
And Ice OVA. So, as a reminder, we will not be back until the first full week in July. So look for us then. I'm not sure exactly what date it is. I think it's like the 8th. Follow us on social media. We'll let you know.
Yeah, it would be July 8th.
July 8th. We will be doing a wrap up of this entire season, and it will be featuring both our Spin the Wheel shows and the final episode of Wonder Egg, which airs on the 30th.
That's actually a lot. I really should have protested the second Spin the Wheel show.
We're gonna have so much to talk about. We're gonna have to talk about the end of Odd Taxi. I can't wait. I can't.
All right, so we should have an episode just for the end of Odd Taxi. Honestly.
Oh my God! Yeah, just like a recap. We'll spin Odd Taxi off for like a second, like thing. Yeah, that could be a good idea. But follow us on social media. We're on all Momocon channels. On everything under the sun. So just follow, and we will let you know when we are back. It will be a little over 3 weeks from now until we are back. So we'll miss you.
Thanks everybody for popping in chat.
And yeah, thanks everybody for being real active in chat today. We appreciate it. Please, if you're not watching anything this season, go home and download or stream all of Odd Taxi, all of it. If you took nothing from this episode, go home and watch Odd Taxi right now. Just do it. Trust us. It's the best piece of advice we could give you. But we'll see you in July. Bye, everybody.